Long unavailable other than via bootleg copies, Dennis Hopper's second film as director, entitled The Last Movie, is being released on Blu-ray by Powerhouse Films. After the success of Dennis Hopper's directorial debut Easy Rider in '69, Universal Studios gave Hopper and his collaborators on Easy Rider, Bob Raffleson, Henry Jaglom, Peter Fonda and Jack Nicholson, a budget of $1 million each and carte blanche to shoot any picture they liked. The aim was to cash in on the youth audience who had made Easy Rider so popular. The resulting films were some of the most interesting American pictures of the early '70s. Fonda used the money to make the trippy anti-western The Hired Hand. Raffleson directed 5 easy pieces starring Jack Nicholson in one of his career best performances. Jaglom made the confusing A Safe Place, a 90-minute picture cobbled together from over 50 hours of footage. And Jack Nicholson directed Drive, he said, a highly unusual and fascinating film about basketball, of all things. Hopper took the money and went to Peru, where, in a drink and drug-fueled haze, he shot many, many hours of footage, which he struggled to edit into a coherent picture. Rumour has it that he assembled a fairly coherent edit of the film, but was pressed by his friend, the Chilean filmmaker Alejandro Jodorowsky, the director of El Topo and the Holy Mountain, to produce a more visionary cut of the film, with the result that it was despised by the studio that financed it and divided audiences into those who loved Hopper's ambitious approach to filmmaking and those who found the completed picture insufferable and simply confusing. Hopper stars in the film as a man named Kansas, the stunt coordinator on a western that is being shot in Chinchero, Peru. After the film crew leave the village, Kansas decides to stay on and witnesses how the influence of the filmmakers has tainted this isolated community. The locals, who watch the western being filmed in locations around their village, begin restaging sequences from the picture whose production they observed, but this time the violence is real. Hopper's technique is very metafictional. He includes repeated takes of the same action and in some instances uses scene missing cards to denote the absence of key footage. The result is a picture which is as inseparable from its star director's personal obsessions as the often never completed late career filmmaking projects of directors such as Orson Welles, Alfred Hitchcock and Sam Peckinpah. The Last Movie is the product of an obsession and nearly destroyed Hopper's career. For over a decade after, Hopper would work on the fringes of Hollywood, making low-key indie films or acting in pictures made in Europe, such as German filmmaker Wim Wenders' The American Friend. Powerhouse Films' Blu-ray release marks the picture's first official home video release. Aside from bootleg copies and a few rare festival screenings, The Last Movie has been almost completely unseen since a handful of screenings in 1971. Powerhouse Films Blu-ray contains a new 4K restoration of the film, which is taken from the original camera negative, accompanying this with a superb array of contextual material, including on-set footage, a restoration demonstration, interviews with Dennis Hopper, and a documentary by filmmaker Alex Cox.
Can't complain. 4-6 Charlie, take 3. White? No. Come closer. Please, please.
Atiéndeme, ha venido aquí a robarse los sets de nosotros.
And movies have bring here violence, and I don't like it. Hollywood.
Podemos hacerlo de nuevo.
Hollywood.